Explaining the pressing, what you have to remember is the fact that we make white wine from black grapes here, and this is the reason why we have some special care around the fruits. That's the reason why in Champagne we harvest by hand, we can't harvest by machine, to not break the skin. That we carry grapes in small baskets, 40 kilo, 45 kilo, to avoid self-pressing in the basket. That we don't carry grapes over long distances, because imagine carrying your grapes over 40 kilometers of track, you will get jam arriving at the press. And also that we have to press in a special way. Another reason why in Champagne you can see two different systems, the horizontal pressing and the vertical pressing. The horizontal pressing is the one that you can see in almost, I think, all other regions. It can be with plates on the side, which is not very good, and the most modern, which are the pneumatic presses, which are much better. But I think the best system remains the vertical press. And we are getting three advantages of from the vertical press compared to the horizontal one because of its physical shape. The first advantage we are getting is that when we load the fruits inside the press, the grapes don't fall from high, so they don't break. The second advantage is that when you compare the shape of this or that one to an horizontal cylinder, the fruits cover a much larger area, which means that you have a better self-filtration of the juice through the fruits before it goes out of the press. And the third advantage happens when we have to make an operation which is called in French retrousse, and then we try to translate as forking over. Let me explain what it means. When you press an orange by hand, if you do this, you get only a part of the juice. To get everything, you have to do that. Here it is the same. You load your press, you begin to press, and after having got about 50% of the juice, your press is physically blocked. You can't extract anymore. So with a press like this or like that, what you do is that you put your press up, you take a fork, you take the fruits which are on the side, you put them back in the middle. In fact, you make a smaller cake and you give it space to expand again, so you can press again. Now, in an horizontal press, you have the same problem, but you have not the same solution because you have no direct access to the fruit. So the only way to do it is to unscrew or deflate your press, turn it in the wrong side, break everything in it, and press again. And that's the problem. Here we have moved relatively gently a small amount of fruit instead of breaking everything with it, which means that here less tannin, less color will go from the skin to the juice. In fact, your fruit remains intact longer, and that's the beauty of the system. Now, those presses which look very old, and in fact which are very old, are much more modern than what they look, simply because they have received 10 years ago a brand new hydraulic system which is computer controlled and which is as smooth and precise as the pneumatic presses, which means that we have now the cake and we eat it in the sense that we have the physical shape with the modern hydraulic system and a very smooth and regular flow of juice. So as it is very smooth and very regular, it means that you can lower the number of forking over that you have to do. We are talking about yields. Now, before talking about yields in kilo as a vineyard, we have to talk about yields in hectoliters per hectare. But it depends on the quantity of juice you are extracting from your fruits. The rules are very clear. In a press like this, you put exactly 4,000 kilos, from which you are allowed to extract 2,550 liters of juice. But those juices, of course, you can imagine, are not the same quantity, the same quality from the beginning to the end. And they are separated also by the rules in two parts. The first juice, which is called the cuvée, is 2,050 liters and is followed by 500 liters of thyme. The word thyme could be translated in English by something like cut. And it's because sometimes when you have to use your last forking over to get the taille, your fruits are so compressed that before using the fork, you have to cut. That's the reason why it's called taille. At Jacquesson, the taille are never used and are always sold to some of our colleagues who are specialized in less noble products, I would say. I don't want to criticize. I am very happy to be able to give some value to something that we don't want to use. But this is also how a yield can be determined with 12 tons per hectare. If you use everything, that's 76.5 hectoliters per hectare. If you use only the cuvées, that's 60.
Yeah.
And so our yields go on average from 40 to 70, with some at 6, but the average is around 60.